What's up, guys? You guys are welcome to another lovely video today. This is the voice of Zenith, and guys, this is what we call Bitcoin ETF. So I'm going to explain everything you need to know about ETF. By the time you finish this video, you should be able to digest what ETFs mean and what it means to the crypto world. So first of all, first thing you need to know is generally what are Bitcoin ETFs. So now if you Google this is what you're going to see now. And ETF is a basket of security shares of which are sold on an exchange. They combine features and potential benefits similar to those of stocks, mutual funds, or bonds like individual stocks. ETF shares are traded throughout the day at the price that changes based on the supply and demand. So now this might sound very not really clear for you, but let me explain this. So that's why you're here in my channel, right? So now these ETFs, all right, are like organizations that help you manage your portfolio, that help you manage your assets. So now take for example, most of us will say, okay, most of us goes to stockbrokers and say, okay, fine, I want to buy gold, and you deposit a certain amount of money, and these guys tell you, okay, now congratulations, you now have invested in gold, and if the price of gold goes up, that means you have made some cool cash, right? And if the price of gold goes down, you will lose some cash. And anytime you want to withdraw, you can just go to them and say, okay, I want to withdraw my money, and they tell you, okay, this is your equity, this is what you stand at. If you're making losses, they'll tell you this is what you have, and if you've made some cool cash, then this is what you also have. ETFs it's very huge in America. Like a lot of old people, a lot of people who are very close to their retirement age do not really understand Bitcoin. So when you talk about 12 passphrase, you talk about exchanges, you tell them about 0.011 Bitcoin is about $200 and something, and they're confused. They really do not understand those stuff, and therefore it's really you start explaining decentralized system to them. They really do not understand those stuff, and to them it's confusing, and it discourages a lot of people, and they won't be able to invest into crypto. But this time around, when we now have ETFs into this market, into the crypto market or into the Bitcoin market, now it's ETFs for Bitcoin. This is going to allow a lot of investors push more money into it. They're going to invest right now because now their ETFs or their stockbrokers are now managing their portfolio for them. Therefore, they don't need to worry about how to transfer the Bitcoin, how to withdraw it, what is the price doing at the moment, when is the right time to sell and buy. These guys are going to manage a portfolio for them based on the agreement they have with this ETFs company. And once that happens, a lot of people are going to dive into Bitcoin. You can see the price of Bitcoin somewhere around $60,000 right now. So we are going to see Bitcoin at $100,000 if SEC approves this. We are going to see Bitcoin very close to $100,000. The $100,000 we're expecting, we're going to see it very earlier than expected. So now, looking at the news, what's the news saying right now? CNBC has this news about this news is just uploaded a few hours ago. You can see the date. So this news is all about SEC is set to allow Bitcoin futures ETFs to begin trading. Here's what investors should know. You can go down and read about it. It's the same thing I explained to you. You can do your own research, so you can just do your own research, so you don't really base your own whatever you hear about ETFs from my channel. So you can do your own research right here. Very important. And also, this is Wall Street Journal. This is what Wall Street Journal has to say about a Bitcoin ETF is almost here. What does that mean for investors? What does that mean for investors? Also, what does that mean for the Bitcoin price? Now, I'm here to analyze the Bitcoin price for you guys. If we see ETFs very soon, if we see ETF before the end of this year, I think that would be one thing that will drag price upward, because big investors around the world invest when it's winter, right? That's when they invest, and they hold their currency till the mid of next year. When it's almost summer, they sell off, enjoy themselves, buy some cool stuff, go on vacation, close their laptops, and when it's heading back to summer during autumn, just like right now it's autumn, I think, and what these guys do is start investing back again. So if that happens, if that's the cycle we're seeing Bitcoin climbing to $100,000 very, very soon. So that's my best prediction. But this is very big news for Bitcoin. We all know by now that bad news do not really work for Bitcoin, because we heard about so many Chinese bans during this bullish trend, but Bitcoin ignored those things and keep going back up. So if you guys want to join my channel, I do webinars every weekend. If you guys want to, make sure you click the link in the description. Everything you need to know is right there. Very important. So also another news again, talking about there's this news on YouTube from Yahoo Finance, and Yahoo Finance have this, and just give them a like. And this experts talking about Bitcoin. So why I love this expert talking about Bitcoin is they kind of bring people who love Bitcoin, who are Bitcoin enthusiasts, and also they bring people who are not Bitcoin enthusiasts. So I have some of this stuff I need to show you guys, so you guys can really understand briefly what this thing is. I shared it in my group, and I feel I should share it. I also shared it on my TikTok and Instagram. I feel let me share it here also. So these are the things you need to know. With more mainstream popularity than ever, many people are interested in acquiring some Bitcoin. That's no doubt. However, the technical aspects of holding Bitcoin, such as crypto wallets, Bitcoin addresses, and private key, are confusing the newcomers, which is very true, and scares some investors away, especially those with millions to invest. Because when you have millions to invest, you want to really be careful and understand the system. But cryptocurrency is very wide, very big. Cryptocurrency is like its own encyclopedia. It's very wide and big. A lot of people will be discouraged and they'll bounce back and bounce out of it, and they won't invest in Bitcoin. But ETFs are here to simplify that. So let's keep going. A Bitcoin ETF creates a simple, legal compliant. A Bitcoin ETF creates a simple, legally compliant way to trade the price of Bitcoin, accessible on the market that investors are already familiar with. All right, so this is like you going to your stockbroker, to your banks, where investors are already familiar with. You're just going to be adding Bitcoin You're just going to be adding Bitcoin among one of their portfolio they have managed. So most of them are managing oil, most of them are managing gold, silver, diamond, stuff like that, and Nasdaq. And now they are going to be adding Bitcoin into their portfolio. That is if SEC agrees. SEC is the body that is in charge of money security in America. So now, how does this work, guys? The idea of an ETF is to have an instrument whose value is pegged to the value of an underlying asset. This way, an investor does not have to deal with the actual assets directly. For instance, if an investor wants to invest in gold but would rather not deal with the assets physically, an ETF tracking it would be a great way to get the gold exposure otherwise. Now, did you know the first ETF launched in 1993 and they became popular as a way of retail investors to invest in a basket of assets at once? If you wanted to invest in 500 of this largest company in America at once, you could buy shares in the S&P 500 ETF, just like S&P 500 and Nasdaq ETF, like I was saying earlier in the video. So you don't need to really buy. When you want to buy Nasdaq, like S&P 500 are 500 top tech companies in America. You don't really need to buy shares in all these companies one by one. When you buy S&P 500 ETF, that means you're buying all of them all together. That's what this thing is about to say. Now, what does a Bitcoin ETF work for? So this one is explaining to you guys why Bitcoin, or how the Bitcoin assets will be added into NFTs and not NFTs. How the Bitcoin asset will be added into ETFs, and that will be very, very small. Bitcoin ETFs are managed by a firm that buys and holds the actual Bitcoin. The price is pegged to the Bitcoin held in the funds. Firm lists the ETFs on the traditional stock exchange. Firm lists the ETF on a traditional stock exchange, and you, the investor, trade the ETF just as you would do to any other stock. So what's so special about ETFs and Bitcoin? A Bitcoin ETF in the US is expected to bring a new level of mainstream trustworthiness in acceptance of Bitcoin. Like I said, it's going to bring the old people, especially the old people, into investing in crypto and in Bitcoin, because this is going to be easy for them. Now, what can you expect from the future? Like I've analyzed before, what we're going to be expecting is Bitcoin price going up, because this is good for Bitcoin. Also, it's going to be good for S&P 500 also. So the approval of a Bitcoin ETF by the SEC would mean institutional investors can more easily speculate on the price of Bitcoin. Now, you guys should know that SEC has always been against Bitcoin, but this time around, they now see the only way to actually fight Bitcoin is no way. The only way to actually take advantage of Bitcoin is to rub shoulders with Bitcoin, be friends with Bitcoin, take advantage of what Bitcoin has given, and try to use it try to use it and gain some benefit out of it. So I think that's what SEC is doing right here. So now it says it would functionally bring Bitcoin to Wall Street, which is very, very good, which is brilliant. With the Bitcoin ETF traded through the same price as Tesla stock, bonds, and gold, oil, and any other traditional assets, and this would likely be a huge boost to the price of Bitcoin supply due to the increase in demand. So now, what you guys should know is this. I'm just talking about all the advantage. What about the disadvantage? Now, for me, from my experience and what I know, the disadvantage of Bitcoin ETF is that we're going to have so many fear traders. I call them panic traders. When a lot of people dive into Bitcoin with any moves in government suggestion, in any move in government decision, this is going to drive a lot of panic traders. That means we are going to see Bitcoin price fall and rise hugely in the future if this happens. Second disadvantage of this will be that most of the Bitcoin will now be centralized in the hands of these exchanges. So we know they can run with them because they are trusted and they are regulated by SEC. But what I'm trying to say right here is that a lot of people will no more have the indirect access and the direct access they need to their Bitcoin. Just for me, I have to store my Bitcoin in my 12 passphrase and I can get it anytime, anywhere in the world. But this time around, you have to go through your broker to get your Bitcoin, right? So that's going to be the disadvantage. Most of the Bitcoin will be centralized. That would also push fear factor. If there is a bomb blast somewhere, or if there is a major government shift or a major government regulation, this will push the price of this fear factor, or the fear investors out of the market. That will push Bitcoin price down. But when we have whales and we have a lot of people who will now start understanding the Bitcoin market and the way they understand gold market, that gold is always climbing, Nasdaq also is also climbing, S&P 500 is also climbing. That way they will be able to understand the market in time to come. So this is going to be like a very big bullish for Bitcoin in the next 5 years, but let's expect some big drops and some big rise. These big drops and big rise will encourage people, will encourage most of the fear or the panic investors. It will encourage them, and then they will learn that this thing will not fall, but will always fall and go up, and it will be on a very big bullish buy trend. Alright guys, I feel I've explained everything I need to know. If there are more updates about ETFs, I'll make a video like this on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe.